We are now in the pre-forum session on ICT statistics, and it is my pleasure and honor to invite Mr. Ashish Kumar, the director of the UN Statistics Institute for Asia and the Pacific, to moderate this session. And we have with him Mr. Sung Jun Choi and Dr. Titi Kanti Lestari. Mr. Kumar is currently the director and has served in very important positions in the government of India and has kindly agreed to moderate the session. Mr. Kumar, the floor is yours.
Thank you so much, Ashish, for my introduction. I would like to go ahead with this pre-forum session on ICT statistics. Can you please show the slides? Thank you. Next slide, please. Let me just go to the session objectives. I hope you have already had a look at it. But basically, the idea here is to share experiences on use of ICT statistics, measuring digital development, and use of it for policy making. And we will also try to explore what are the challenges and how to look at it, how to take care of it. That is the one part of it. There has been a lot of talk of use of big data. All the policymakers and the people at large, they look at alternative sources of data. We normally call it as alternative sources of data. And that is one which we always look for how best it can be used for our policy making, for improving statistics. Next, please. Let me just give you a little background. With the Sustainable Development Goals, Agenda 2030, adopted by about the countries, there has been a bigger push for a policy making or a decision making which is evidence-based. And evidence is in the form of data. Statistics plays a very important role in understanding the data which is coming from various sources, specialized sources for which the statistics is primarily generated, or other sources. But for a decision-making purposes, for the people at large, who are the decision makers or the policy makers, that has to be in a form which can be understood easily. So data visualization is very important. And also important thing which we have been seeing now is that big data use of geographic information system, which we normally refer as GIS, artificial intelligence, and also a lot of applications have come for the mobile data. There is a need for building the management capability to look after the data, to take care of data, to process it and use it. And this is the whole scenario which we have to look at. This is the background. Next, please. There is a very important committee, the Committee on Coordination of Statistical Activities, where all the UN agencies are the members, those who are producing statistics, who are using statistics. And they have come out with a very important report called How COVID-19 is Changing the World, a statistical perspective. COVID-19 has made such a significant difference in the lives of the people. And this has been assessed, both economic, social, and regional impact, and also its impact on statistical activities. That is, what kind of data is available, because statistics is always collected through various personal interviews, face-to-face interactions, but there being restrictions on that. Is there a problem? Is there a difficulty? And how should one should go about it? And therefore, this is the one area which has been a challenge, which has been reflected. Next, please. Now, the committee has said that we have to look for the innovations, resilience, and cooperation to address these problems. You know, the most important short-term indicators are the consumer price indices, index of industrial production, gross domestic product, balance of payment, and also employment. Now, these indicators are where the information is collected right from the people at large. They go around the different geographic areas, collect information, and this has to be brought out with a very short interval. And this is one thing which has to be done very quickly. There are guidance given, but if we adopt use of big data, open data, and citizen-generated data, these production of these indicators can be improved with a high frequency. Next, please. Now, what are the issues? Well, let us look at the issues. One is the quality for the purpose of decision making. That is one issue which always people look at for the alternative sources of data. Another thing is it regularly available? Is it supply of the data is available on a regular basis, timely manner? The third important issue is the coverage. It is not having always, especially in the developing countries, the digital coverage is not full, not even half many times. So will it really represent the whole situation in the country? And then there is still a lot of models to be developed for using this data. And the most important is the capability of the organizations to handle these sources of data. Next, please. How do I do it? First, most important thing is capacity development programs. We in the Statistical Institute for Asia and the Pacific are focused on development of capacities of the national statistical offices or the offices which are dealing in statistics. And therefore, the primary focus now has been shifting to develop their capabilities to use these alternative sources of data. Then, required processing power, software, which is needed by the national statistical offices. Third, there has to be an education for the policymakers so that they understand that these are reliable data and this should be used. And then this is to be done only with the help of the partnerships. International organizations, regional organizations, academic institutions, and various bodies who are, many civil society organizations are doing a very great job in use of alternative sources of data. And that's important. Next, please. Now, with this background, I take you to the two eminent speakers which we have. And we will be requesting one by one. We have Mr. Sung Joon Choi from the MSIT Republic of Korea. And we have Dr. Titi Kanti Lestari, Director of Statistics, Indonesia. They will be making presentations of 15 minutes each. After that, time will be available for further discussion. Now, may I first introduce Mr. Sung Joon Choi. He is a director from the Multi-Cooperation Division, Ministry of Science and ICT, in short MSIT, Republic of Korea. He has varied experience from setting ICT standards, science and technology policy, creative economy promotion, industrial policy and regulatory reforms, and legal affairs in the Ministry of ICT and Future Planning, and in the Ministry of Trade, Industry, and Energy in Korea. He has done his master's degree in business administration from Asian Institute of Technology, Thailand. Mr. Sung Joon Choi, Mr. Choi, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Mr. Kumar. Good morning and good afternoon, everyone. My name is Sung Joon Choi. I'm the Director of Multilateral Cooperation Division from the Ministry of Science and ICT of Korea. My presentation today is on the use of ICT statistics in policymaking. I'll be presenting Korea's ICT statistics system and how statistics are used in policymaking, and the recently established Digital New Deal initiative that is based on ICT statistics. Next, please. First, ICT statistics system. Korea has a distributed statistical system where Statistics Korea is the national coordinator and individual organizations are responsible for producing their own statistics according to their needs. It is the Ministry of Science and ICT that handles the overall management of ICT-related statistics. To better manage statistics, the MSIT establishes the ICT Statistical Survey Rolling Plan every year and manages ICT statistics based on it. The MSIT also created the ICT Statistics Council, which coordinates and discusses activities related to ICT statistics. At the council meetings, the MSIT shares its plans with the participating agencies such as the National IT Industry Promotion Agency and the Korea Association for ICT Promotion, and receive comments from them to improve ICT statistics. The MSIT and Statistics Korea also meet twice a year to discuss issues such as approving new statistics, improving the quality of statistics, and addressing the problem of overlapping statistics. The most recent discussion was on approving the survey on AI industry. Next, please. To prevent the statistics from overlapping with one another and to improve the quality of individual statistics, the MSIT created a map of ICT statistics system divided into 4 categories. ICT supply category surveys, the businesses and industry performance, export and import, employment, and etc. It includes information and communication technology survey, ICT export and import statistics, and so on. ICT market category surveys the market status of ICT, which includes surveys on data industry, AI industry, blockchain industry, VR, AR industry, and so on. ICT infrastructure category surveys the telecommunication service subscriptions, mobile data traffic, internet domain, IP addresses, and etc. An ICT demand category surveys the internet use, digital divide, data protection, and security. Next, please. The statistics are important, but what is more important is that they are delivered to policymakers to be used in policy development. We use diverse measures to provide ICT statistical data to policymakers. The first one is ICT Statistics Booklet, which is published to provide relevant and timely statistics. It is published 3 times a year and includes not only major ICT statistics, but also data from the Bank of Korea and Statistics Korea. The second measure is ICT Statistics Portal, which provides all ICT-related statistics. Users can easily access all ICT statistics, both on computers and on mobile devices. We use the ICT Statistics Portal to provide microdata, which allows ICT statistics to be used in in-depth studies and analysis. The third one is ICT Statistics Analysis Report. It provides statistics-based monthly analysis on the latest trends that can be used in policymaking. The recent report covered the trends of contactless financial services and the digital divide examined from the COVID-19 perspective. Hard copies and digital copies are both available so that policymakers can easily access the statistical data. Next, please. This is a screenshot of ICT Statistics Portal. You can access this portal by Googling ITstat or by typing the URL www.itstat.go.kr on your browser. Next, please. Now let's go into detail with a survey example on the digital divide. Korea aims to become a leader for the fourth industrial revolution in response to the digital transformation, and at the same time focuses on digitally inclusive growth. This report measures and evaluates the quantitative results of the policies on closing the digital divide among vulnerable populations. The survey is held every year in pursuant to the Framework Act on National Informatization to collect basic data necessary for effective policymaking. General population, people with disabilities, low-income population, residents of rural and coastal areas, North Korean de factos and marriage migrants were surveyed. Interviewers visited a household and had one-on-one interviews with the respondents. Next, please. The report on the digital divide is largely divided into three parts. The first index is access, which indicates the level of access to digital information. It measures whether one owns a fixed or mobile device, and whether one can access the internet at all times. The second index is capacity, which measures one's basic skills to use a personal computer or a mobile device. The basic skills include the ability to install and delete basic software in applications, the ability to produce documents on a computer or mobile device, and the ability to send a file over the internet. The third index is use, which measures the quantitative and qualitative level of internet use on a computer or a mobile device. It asks questions about whether one uses fixed or mobile internet, the diversity of internet service use, and the level of advanced internet use. It looks into people's online activities regarding information search, education and training, communication on social media, and financial transactions or income gain. Next, please. In Korea, people with disabilities, low-income population, residents of rural and coastal areas, and senior citizens are considered the four major information vulnerable groups. This group graph shows the level of digital informatization among the four major vulnerable groups, supposing the level of among the general population is 100. It shows that although the level of digital informatization among the information vulnerable population is slowly going up, it is still around 70% compared to that of the general population. Next, please. If we look more closely, the level of digital access is around 90% compared to that of the general population. However, the levels of digital capacity and use still hover around 60 to 70% compared to those of the general population. Next, please. Recently, with the rapid spread of AI technology, we carried out a separate survey on AI devices and services. This slide shows the general population and vulnerable populations' awareness and experience regarding AI technology and services. We can see that the level of experience with AI among the vulnerable population is less than half of that among the general population. It is evident that the gap is larger with the latest technologies. Next, please. The statistics are used both directly and indirectly in policymaking. For example, as blockchain is an emerging technology, the blockchain technology development strategy will need the latest information on the current state of the blockchain industry. The survey on blockchain industry studied the number of blockchain companies, blockchain market size, and the number of people in the blockchain industry. These data on the blockchain ecosystem were used in developing the strategy. According to the statistical data collected in 2018, when the strategy was first established, there are over 30 blockchain companies and around 600 people working in the industry in Korea. And the market size is less than 50 billion won. These data reveal the problems with Korea's blockchain industry, such as the shortage of blockchain professionals. And the final draft of the strategy included tasks such as training blockchain talent. Likewise, the survey on cloud industry was used in developing the strategy for promoting cloud industry, titled Act to Realize the Fourth Industrial Revolution. The surveys on the digital divide and information society were also used in developing related government strategies. Next, please. Next, I'd like to introduce the Digital New Deal of Korea, which is based on ICT statistics. Korea introduced the Korean New Deal for the post-COVID-19 era. It consists of two main policies, the Digital New Deal and the Green New Deal. I'll briefly introduce the Digital New Deal. COVID-19 is stimulating economic and industrial structural transformation. It is accelerating digitalization and contactless services such as telemedicine, teleworking, distance learning, and online shopping. The Digital New Deal is a DNA-based strategy to overcome the economic crisis. DNA stands for data, network, and AI. The Digital New Deal aims to minimize the economic shock by creating jobs. It creates not only government-supported jobs for low-skilled workers, but also jobs that support the structural transition towards the digital economy. Next, please. The unforeseen shock of the pandemic has resulted in the worst economic downturn that the world has seen since the Great Depression. Border closures and travel restrictions have affected economies and job markets around the world. Without the government efforts protecting the job market and boosting domestic consumptions, the pandemic could result in a vicious cycle of income loss, demand contraction, and mass unemployment. So the Korean government introduced the Korean New Deal as a national development strategy to support the country's recovery from the pandemic crisis. We hope that this strategy could support the Korean economy's quick return to its normal growth. Next, please.
Please conclude now.
Okay. The Digital New Deal consists of three main strategies. First, we'll reinforce the DNA ecosystem, which involves the collection, utilization, disclosure, integration, and distribution of data. We're going to build a data dam, which will serve as the foundation for a digital economy. Projects that integrate 5G and AI technology into primary, secondary, and tertiary sectors of the economy will be introduced for the digitalization of all industries and the creation of new markets. The government will adopt a smart working environment by utilizing 5G and cloud networks, while also being innovative to quickly provide customized public services. Second, we'll nurture contactless industries by setting up relevant infrastructure that is closely related to people's daily lives. Third, we will apply ICT technologies to key SOC infrastructures for safer and more convenient lifestyles, and adding smart components to urban spaces, industrial complexes, and logistics systems to strengthen the competitiveness of relevant industries. Next, please. This picture shows the DNA ecosystem. Data and AI are fundamental components of the competitiveness in the digital economy. Networks link data and AI to all industries. Korea seeks to generate greater added value and create more jobs in the future on the basis of the DNA ecosystem.
The time is up.
Next and last slide, please. Okay. The Digital New Deal suggests a vision for the future based on relevant statistics. For example, the Data Dam project has the final goal of expanding data market size from the current 16.8 trillion won to 43 trillion won by 2025. It also suggests increasing 5G penetration from the current 14.3% to 70% by 2025, and tripling the number of companies specializing in AI from the current 56 to 150. That brings me to the end of my presentation. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you, Mr. Choi. It has been a very, very enlightening presentation. It has brought out the issue of digital divide very effectively, and the way forward, what Korea is doing, what Korea is looking forward, how to bring more inclusive society, how to advance quickly, especially with the economic restructuring which is taking place due to COVID-19. Participants, please keep asking your questions in the chat box. We are very closely watching it, and you will have enough time after the presentations to ask. We will try to respond. Our panelists will try to respond to them. Now, I move to the second presentation by Ms. Titi Kanti Lestari. She is a director in BPS Statistics Indonesia and has been working with them since 1983. She is responsible for management of data collection, processing, and analysis of financial information technology, and tourism statistics. Prior to joining this position, she worked as director of distributive statistics and had responsibility for data collection, processing, and analysis of merchandise data. She is actively involved in UN Mobile Positioning Data Task Team. Ms. Titi had PhD from Monash University, Australia in Applied Econometrics, has master's degree in Economic Development from Wollongong University in Australia. She also has bachelor's in Financial Management from University in Indonesia, a diploma in Statistics from Academy in Statistics, Indonesia. Ms. Titi, floor is yours. You have 15 minutes to present your case. Thank you.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much, Ashish. My presentation is about our project of using big data for ICT statistics, especially to measure the SDGs indicators. Next, please. In Indonesia, the SDGs target have been set up to achieve the 2013 agenda. There are around 319 indicators, and BPS Statistics Indonesia contributes to the 136 Indonesian SDGs indicators. We obtain the data mostly from survey, census, and administrative data. In SDGs, there are three ICT indicators in SDGs. Previously, we used household survey and administrative data from MICT. However, there is a data gaps in terms of coverage and granularity because the SDGs will be monitored up to municipalities and cities. Next, please. So there is a question about the coverage of our socio-economic survey, and also ask more granular data, because there are a survey, although the sample is very low, like only 5,900 something, conducted by the association, and then the result is quite high, different with our economics household survey, socio-economics. So that is why now BPS joined the ITU project, the second phase ITU project for measuring information society using big data. In this project now, only 2 countries, Indonesia and Brazil, but in the previous project, the first phase, there are 6 countries, including Philippines, Colombia, United Arab Emirates, Sweden, and Oman. BPS Statistics Indonesia already use mobile positioning data for tourism and commuting statistics, and we already have access to the telco, data from the telco. Yes, next please. So this is the 2 indicators that we will obtain and compare with our household survey. Actually, there is 3, but we didn't use the 5th SDGs. So one is the target 9C1 by the 2030. 30 is a proportion of population covered by mobile network. Previously, we got this from MICT. However, we didn't have mapping data, and we didn't know up to municipality or city data. So big data is used to compare with our complement with administrative data and increase granularity for monitoring SDGs, which area were less coverage. And another one is target 1781 in SDGs. Previously, we used a household survey, which are available every year, but can only give national and province estimation. It cannot give up to municipality and cities. We have to increase the samples if we need data up to municipality. And also there is a questioning of people that maybe our socio-economic household is under coverage towards the middle and low income, not including the. But actually, in the survey, we already use wealth index for the sampling method. So this is why big data is used to compare and complement how our household survey and increase granularity for monitoring SDGs. Yes, next please. So policymakers need SDGs because need data for monitoring, and also they need for action, policy action or action plan to achieve the 2013 target. But then also they need society need trusted data. So we try whether big data can be used for those purpose. Yes, next please. The benefit of using big data. This is actually from our using big data for tourism and commuting statistics, because it can be used to increase the coverage and data quality, and also we can get more frequent data, annual or even quarterly data, and less burden and respondent burden, because work burden and because like our household survey now, the enumerator need maximum 4 hours to and minimum 2.5, because many questions and then for many purposes. And then also maybe for other countries that have not every year household survey, maybe they can use big data as well. And less budget, more cost effective, and less labor, because we did not enumerator anymore, but we need data scientists and more timely data and more granular data. Yes, next please. So that's the problem with big data is quality assurance, because is it different with survey or census, or yeah, because in survey or census we can mitigate during the data collection, during the data processing, but for big data is a bit similar with data administrative data. The data is already there, and then we don't know what is the quality of the data. And also the methodology that we use, we need to use methodology like for other statistics like tourism. There are manual, like for tourism there are manual, so we can just how to make that manual applicable for big data or for mobile phone data. And privacy preserving process, because we have to process the data without knowing that who is the people or with it individual data. So it's already masked or already anonymous. And also, if we only use one telco, it should be estimate. It doesn't show the market of that telco. Yes, next please. Actually, from the first page, there is already published the methodology from the ITU. And what is the challenge for Indonesia? Because the first one is data access, because there is no rule or regulation yet. So we have MOU, memorandum of understanding, then followed by contract. And then the process of the contract is quite long, because it needs some review or audit from our internal and external auditor. And also that's including the administrative and legal process of the contract, and review from our legal division also, and commitments from MNO, because we have kind of like timeline, time frame, and then often that MNO spend that timeline. They didn't deliver the data. Like when we ask in the timeline, we need the sandbox in this month, then sometimes they postpone or delay, something like that. That's also a problem. And fourth, the MNO staff or data, the data scientists, they are lack of understanding on statistics. All statistics, because they are mostly computer or electronic engineering or others, so they didn't understand. So when we talk, it's not in the same language often, so we have like go back again, and and also the data processing is a quite big data, like for 5% samples, it's already like million of records. Billion, actually, it's already billion of records. So that's also the problem, and took quite long to process. Yes, next please. For the pilot of information society to measure the SDGs, Indonesia and Brazil is the pilot countries. And in this project, we are comparing various data sources for population, because like for the indicators, the denominator is the population. And then not many countries have population projection. And if they use population census, usually that's available only 5 or 10 years, especially in developing countries. And in the world pop, how they usually use the backdate data, like 5 or 10 years data. And also we try to use the mobile phone data for the population. And another thing, we compare the various data source, like from cell ID location, from MICT, and also from the telco itself. And we will compare and complement the data with our household survey and our administrative data for SDGs, for the 2 SDGs indicators. And then maybe with this pilot, maybe other countries can learn. So about like if they didn't have regular or annual household survey, or if they didn't have like population projection and they didn't have the data for from census is quite old and not updated. Next, please. I think that's all my presentation. Oh, sorry. Yeah, this is exercise from this is still exercise, not final yet, but yeah, this is so that our cell ID and BTS that's not evenly distributed. Like in Papua, there is from some are empty, but in Java that's quite dense. And next also. That's yeah, this is also exercise. This is for the BTS tower and the coverage, and we use the elevation maps. So that's all. We didn't have the result yet. Maybe this month we will have the result. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, E.T. This has been a very interesting presentation about how the systems and statistics have started using the data from mobile positioning systems and mobile data. And this is especially important for the purpose of tourism, which is a very important sector in economy. It is very important for the movement of the people, which is really a contribution. And I think the methodologies are very well developed now, and Indonesia has been working very well and piloting it effectively. Now, what I would do is I'm having some questions coming in. So I'll start with the first question, which is to address to both the participants. I'll give floor one by one to both of you. For the question is, how can we assure the accuracy of ICT data and its availability? What would be recommendations from the experts? So first I request Mr. Choi to go ahead and give his views to the question. Yeah.
Well, actually, I'm not a statistical person, but in general, the government or the public agencies do work like in the transparent manner, or I think that for the accuracy, assuring the accuracy of ICT data is also can be obtained by the transparent procedures, and that procedures should be open to the public, and everybody can see how it goes on and how the data are taken from the people. So in that way, I think we can assure the accuracy of the data. Thank you.
Well, thank you so much. I think it's a very important point which you have made, that transparency in terms of manner in which the data is being collected and being disseminated and being stored is very important. And also related issue is also regarding the privacy of the data, because many of this data which is coming and getting generated from various sources, especially in the ICT sector, has a lot of importance of the privacy. So transparency and privacy has to be balanced in terms of release and the use of this data. That's very good idea of Mr. Choi. Now, I repeat the same question to Titi. Yes, Titi, what are your views on that? How do you assure accuracy of ICT data and its availability?
Okay. Thank you very much, Asis. For statistics, office, we have manual quality assurance framework book that's applicable for from the UN for census, for survey, and also for administrative data. And now UNIS also have the draft for big data for quality assurance. And for the other data source, BPS already also have manual for internal and also others that will use data for that. So yeah, so there is a step like we have to do the quality assurance at data source checking and something like that, and then see whether there is anomalies or whether there is outlier and what is the cause and something like that. And then there is a quality assurance checking. So that's like in the for the first survey. Yeah, in the survey.
James?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's in the survey. We use kind of like ground check. So that's one thing. And as Mr. Choi mentioned, yeah, transparency also important because we did provide the method in our publication, like from a household survey and something like that, and for the ICT. And then we also did some kind of like ground check and checking the data. The result of the table, whether that's reflect the reality or not, something like that. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you so much. It's a very elaborate system of quality of statistics, which has passed through various stages of the discussion and ultimately passed through the UN Statistical Commission, which has laid down the parameters and how to maintain and improve the quality of statistics and how you be responsible for it. And I think this is what the point which Ms. Titi has made, that yes, this is absolutely important that the quality is maintained. Quality is very well done by the thorough checking. But some question is always raised about the representativeness of the ICT data. Because this is always taken at a given point of time. And does it really represent? Because of the two reasons which Mr. Choi has made earlier. That is one, there is a digital divide. So a lot of, supposing mobile data, the whole of it is not available, does not represent the whole of the population. And how do you take into account this kind of a defect or not, I should not say as a defect or a limitation in the ICT related data. Ms. Choi and then Ms. Choi, yeah. Ms. Titi, please go ahead. You are muted.
Yes, thank you, Asis. Yes, actually, it depends. If we use all the mobile operator, then it's quite representative because, based on the GSMA data, it is like in Indonesia. We have 360,000 people that register, subscribe to all, but our population is 260. So most of them, and then using mobile data, it's including, because we use the data from BTS, so that's include the 2G, 3G, and 4G. So even that's old, very old mobile, we can still capture that data. So that's also, yeah. As a statistician, we always concerned about the representativeness, yes, of course. But there are also problem if we only use one telco. We have to do inference using many ways, weighted, including market share or something like that. So yeah.
Yeah, sure. Thank you.
That's it.
Very good insight into it. Yes, Mr. Choi, do you have any thoughts on that around limited digital? Because you brought out a very important report of a digital divide, where some people from various disabilities or various they have lesser access to data, and also their lesser use of the data. Even if they have an access, probably the capabilities do not exist. What do you think we should do as a statistician or as a policymaker? You must be trying to, what steps are we taking in Korea? Please go ahead.
Well, for the digital divide, well, yeah, they have little access to the information and infrastructure. So I think the connectivity is most important issue for the digital divide. So we need to provide a affordable, effective infrastructure for affordable price. So in Korea, we introduced the let's say the broadband. We made it the broadband services to be the basic services to every individuals in Korea. If someone want to connect broadband, then the service provider should provide to everybody in Korea. That's the government have to guarantee that kind of supply. So I think in that way we can provide more connectivity to the people, even the disabilities and vulnerable populations.
Very good. I think that's the key to it, that make it accessible to a larger population so that all population is covered, and then also help them with the devices so they have the right kind of devices to access it. That's another thing which we should probably think about and make it available in a reasonable price so that everybody keeps it and uses it. There is another question which is regarding the use of big data. Mr. Sunglu, can you explain how the big data is being used in Korea?
Well, I like to share an example from the Seoul metropolitan city. They use the big data analysis in developing night bus, which operates between midnight and 5 a.m. They chose routes most used by people, especially late night commuters. So I think that's an example for using the big data in policymaking. Thank you.
Oh, very good, very good. That's a very important thing which is being used for. Another question to probably both the participants would be, both the panelists would be, in your experience, how much time does it take to observe the impact of regulatory policy interventions on the index being measured, probably the index of how much digitalization has taken place? You are taking a policy decision, you are ensuring that the access becomes easy, but actually how much time it takes? Mr. Choi, please.
Well, that's a very hard question. I have to think about that question for the time.
You take some time. In the meantime, I'll pick the brains of Ms. Titi. Yes, Titi. Do you think can you address this question, because this is a very complicated question? Timing is a real difficult issue, and it varies depending upon the governance. It is not a straightforward question where it will be happening in the same manner in every society. So the societal context is very important, and the administrative structures which are in place is very important. And then all other factors, the receptivity of the people. Even if you create a broadband and available in every place, but if the people do not find importance in the use of this connectivity, what do? I mean, you can't make them to use. So it will vary. But any perceptions which you have, Titi?
Yes. Yeah. As Mr. Choi mentioned, it's a quite hard question. Sorry. Before that, I saw that's another question that about the accuracy. Yeah, sorry, I forgot to mention that we also did some kind of calibration or benchmarking after we got the result, and then yeah, we did the calibration with other data sources. So that's yeah, one addition. Yeah, it's regarding the time frame. It's quite difficult. Yeah, it depends. Because it can be like 1 year or maybe 2 years. Indeed, it depends. Because like for example, like if in Papua there is less people that less coverage, and then how long they have to invest, maybe more than 1 year, like today. And then after that, if they already built PTS or something like that, who will distribute it to the houses or to the people? Like even until now, not many people in Papua that use mobile. They use mobile phone, but only for touch and listening the music. They didn't put SIM card, something like that. Yeah, only a few people.
Yeah.
So that's a.
Yeah, the data usage that way is comparatively less, even if it is being used as a mobile telephonic device. Yes, Mr. Choi, do you have any reflections before we move on?
Okay, yeah, it is very hard to say how long does it take to impact to the index when we make some kind of policies. But I think it is, we can monitor the impacts are being appeared when after we establish a policy. So I think we, after monitoring the effect of the policy, we can calibrate the policies.
True.
Yes, thank you.
Very good. Very well done. So I think we have a few minutes, 1 or 2 minutes left. I will ask just one question that to Mr. Choi, how popular it is becoming the blockchain in you have given some figures in terms of but you say that the professionals are not available, it seems. So do you think is it because of the professionals not being available, or its use is not yet understood?
Yes, blockchain is an emerging technology, and I think there are we are trying to provide more education about blockchain to the people, but here in Korea we have not enough professionals here, so that's because I think the blockchain industry is still not big enough. So I think we have to, but we have to prepare for the future of blockchain industry.
Yeah, that's true. Correct. Thank you. And the last question to Mr. Titi, is the tourism information which is being generated by mobile data, has it become an official statistics for you? Are you regularly bringing out the publications, or it is only for one-off purposes, or it's a pilot? How it is?
Yes, that's become official statistics for inbound tourism, and also for outbound tourism. We publish in our website. Yeah, for inbound is every monthly data. It's a complement for the immigration data. Thank you.
Oh, thank you so much. It's a great movement and great improvement, because otherwise the tourism statistics used to take a lot of time for the people to bring out, and this is a great thing which the Indonesia has done. Now, I think I'm concluding it. The time is up. We are just left with about 1 minute. And anything else you people want to say to the participants about ICT statistics? Mr. Choi, do you have any advice to give?
No, thanks.
Okay, and Ms. Titi?
Maybe just because ICT indicators is already stated as 2 or 3 indicators in the SDGs. So, and then in SDGs, no one left behind. I mean, so what our statistic to do is like make sure that no one left behind because the under coverage of the data. Something like yeah, thank you.
Absolutely, excellent point. So thank you so much to both the panelists and all the participants. It has been a very interesting discussion, and there have been very useful questions raised. And this is the future of statistics, is the future of economy, the future of industry, it's the future of everything. So we keep working on it, and that's what the lesson which I'm seeing. And there are new technologies coming up, artificial intelligence being used, and a lot of other things. So thank you so much, Ashish. It has been a very productive and useful discussion among us. And I hope participants also gained insight into the ICT statistics and the future role it has. And I think Rooney wanted to take a photograph of all the participants. So we are all there. We are on the yeah, please go ahead. Yes. Hello, Miss Akuda. How are you doing?
Fine, thank you. Thank you very much for the skillful moderation. Good to see you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Ashish. May we take a picture now?
Yeah, please go ahead. Yeah.
3, 2, 1. Perfect. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Duri. So I will take the occasion to thank Mr. Kumar, Mr. Choi, and Dr. Lestari for this very insightful and interesting session. It was really good, and we learned about how new technologies are being used. I am sure that the panelists have and the participants have thoroughly enjoyed it. We look forward to seeing you soon in an hour's time for the next session in the RDF. So once again, thank you very much, and have a very good day, and have a good RDF.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.